How are you guys doing? This is different. This is a different kind of a, what do you call it, setup.
Is this your episode 50? I was hoping, I think I saw that, right? Like,
Yep.
I was hoping you'd do something like kind of big and grand for episode 50.
Yeah, dude. The way I recall is that you brought it up on your episode, and then Deuce messaged me right after listening to it, and he's like, "I agree with Layne," or something to that extent. And dude, so I was like, you're right. So that's what we're fucking doing. Episode 50. Everybody, let's introduce you guys real quick, starting with whoever wants to go first, so the listeners know.
1, 2, 3, not it.
Oh, does that leave me? Oh, okay.
That leaves the Deuce.
I am Taylor Doose. I am a writer, director, editor, producer. God, what else do I do at this point? Actor when I have to be. Jack of all trades, master of none. Yeah, I've been doing this for almost 8 years. I've known Chaz for, how long have we known each other? Like 7 years now?
Has it been that long?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Damn. Boy, are we talking about like when we first met, or are we talking about when we first messaged?
It sounds like we're dating.
Yeah, I was
what
gonna
kind of
say, it sounds
messages
like
are
you
you
guys are
sending?
dating.
We had a mutual friend who's like, hey, you guys are both filmmakers. I think you guys will get along. But I was still in high school when that message came through. I was in my senior year in high school. So that was probably 8 years ago.
That makes me feel young.
But yeah, and I think do you remember what episode you were on? I think
It was an early one.
15, maybe?
Like 14 or something? 14,
Yeah.
15? I don't know.
I should have looked all that up before.
It was the America's Most Wanted episode.
Right?
But
Have you seen this man?
Yeah, that's right.
And if you have, send him back because nobody wants him.
uh-oh.
All right.
Anyways, yeah, let's deal with Layne, sir.
Hi there. My name is Layne Orr, camera operator, nature photographer, overall no do-gooder. No, yeah. I was saying to my wife, this feels like kind of like a slick reunion featuring Chaz with, I don't know why, but it's been so long that I feel like Chaz was at school with us. I've just placed him in there in my memory banks, even though he was never there. It's like a Mandela effect thing. Like I swear he was there. No, yeah, I got my start filming stunts, Jackass style. The Jackass crew is what inspired me to pick up a camera, and I joined a crew called the Blockheads, and we had a great time. We had a good run with all that stuff, and got it up to MTV. And then during the Rona, I kind of just took a break from all this nonsense, and I went out and took a bunch of pictures of some other types of animals. The Blockheads were a whole nother type of animal, but yeah, we went out into the wilderness and got some more stills and stuff. And so yeah, I'm just kind of doing portrait photography and music on the side. So yeah, going back to some of my roots with music, and I was a touring musician back in the late 2000s, long time ago now. I spent my early 20s, playing music, and then I don't even know if Deuce and John know this, that I was a part of the original Paul Green School of Rock Music. That the documentary School of Rock. Yeah, I was a part of the original first wave of the Paul Green School of Rock, and then they changed it. There was like a big scandal or something with where they dropped the Paul Green name, and I stayed with the School of Rock for a few years, and so yeah, just kind of all around troublemaker.
And
I always forget. Sorry, go ahead.
No, what were you gonna say, John?
I always forget that Layne had like this whole other career life thing before.
Right?
It's weird, huh? It's weird. It's
it's like, oh yeah, I forgot you did all that stuff.
Because I met all you guys in this like really early, like it was the first like big. I met my wife, and my wife is the one who like convinced me like go to film school, and that's like I met you guys right after a major like revolution, life change, and so you guys were, it feels good to get back together again. Let's just say that.
You and me both, buddy.
Yeah.
And then, real quick, I'll segue into you, John, real quick. Deuce, you were episode 15. I have it pulled up. Layne,
Oh,
you
cool.
were episode 30. So go check those out. And our next guest, he's been on before, obviously, but he's actually episode 17. So, Jonathan,
Hey,
what about
17.
you, dude? Yeah.
I don't know why I did that. There's nothing really special about 17. I'm like, yeah, 17. Like, that means something. So I'm Jonathan. Keep it really short and simple. I shoot things. Sometimes I edit things when I have to, and sometimes I color correct things when I have to. But mainly I just light and shoot things and just have fun and like creating stuff. So
You make things look pretty.
hey, for the story. For the story. If it's ugly and it needs to be ugly for the story, that's what it's got to be.
That's funny. I just go real quick. You said 17 something special. I have a story for you guys. Ready for this? It was when I was younger, like maybe 13, 12. I was like, if I was 17, I'll have it all. I'll have it figured out. I'll have like a hot girlfriend in high school and all this stuff, right? Like I'll be the stud of the high school. So I always wished before going to bed that like I would be 17. Like would be like one of those Disney moments of being like magically 5 years or whatever passed, and all of a sudden it's like a whole new world, right? That never happened, obviously. And then 17 was actually probably the most awkward years.
Oh, yeah. 100%. 17 is an horrible age to be.
It really is.
You had high hopes, dude. You had some high hopes for 17. I was like, oh no, we'll see if I even make it around 17.
Yeah. I'm over here. Yeah, I hit 12 and I'm like, I wonder if I'm going to ever even be able to retire.
I hit that when I was 15 and got my first paycheck and was like, oh no, $60. Dang. I got a long way to $1 million.
Yeah.
What was your guys' first job that was not film related?
Mine was a swim team coach.
Like what?
About that. Yeah. So the funny part about that is it was for the Holiday Lions Rec Center. And I was a swim team coach there, and I got the job without even like having to confirm that I like swam on my high school swim team. Well, so they were just like, yeah, do you go to this school? Do you like swim? And I was like, yeah, I swim. I can swim. And they hired me on the spot. And then I got a coworker who was actually on the swim team at their high school. And then I would just like mimic whatever they would tell the kids to do. I was like the hype man behind the instructor. They'd be like, oh yeah, move your arms like this. And I'm like, yeah, like that. You got it. Boom. Just all the way to the end and back, all the way to the end and back.
Like a Key and Peele's like skit.
Yeah, and I held that job until I was 20.
Did you learn to swim in that time period?
I guess that was 4 years because it's 16 maybe. What's up?
Did you learn to swim? Like, did you know how to swim when you got it or no?
I mean, I knew how to swim, but I was not like swim team material. Like, I knew how to swim, but not like swim.
So did you learn how to swim?
I shouldn't have been coaching little kids. Let's just say that. How to swim.
He hoped he would be on the Olympic swim team by 17.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
Oh, man.
And what about you guys, Deuce and Layne?
Ironically, I think it was around 17. I was your friendly neighborhood pizza delivery driver.
Yeah.
Driving my own vehicle. It was but it was weird. It was never for like Domino's or anything like that. It was like this gourmet. It was called Sweet Home Chicago. Do you guys remember? There was two locations here in the south of the valley, and they were like, it was a Chicago, and they like moved to Utah, and he brought like the Chicago deep dish style pizza to. So I was delivering like $35 pizzas. It's just like you think people don't tip on $5 pizzas? Yeah, deliver a $35 pizza and breadsticks to them.
Did you have regular customers?
Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh, I've been told I need to write like a short novel based on some of my experiences with that, because people people order a pizza and they would not look at the prices, and so they would expect to pay $5, and then when I showed up with a $50 bill, they were like, it was like I took a lot of pizzas back.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it was. It seemed like a rather useless job. No, yeah, it was. I'll fill you in on some crazy
What'd you guys
NC-17 stories from.
What'd you guys do with those pizzas though? Like they had to take back.
Dude, that's the thing is like the boss wouldn't let us eat them, but like if he was gone, it was like, yeah, take it back and let it go to way. Like, can I take this? Can I bring it back to the homeless shelter or something on my way back? No, bring it back. It's confiscated contraband.
He's like, hey, that's a $50 pizza right there. Bring it back. I don't care if anyone's gonna eat it. $50 right there.
He's watching.
I was never allowed, dude.
He's watching this podcast. He's gonna sue me.
I was never allowed
defamation
of
order
character.
pizzas, dude, or to delivery driver.
Yeah,
I was never allowed, dude.
Dude, because we're in a pandemic, I've been having food delivered quite a bit more than I would like to admit, probably. But there's this pizza place, and the driver has seen me a few times, and it's always the same driver. And he finally calls me one night when he's delivering. He's like, hey, yeah, I think I've delivered to you before, but I can't find your building. And then there's like a pause, and he's like, oh, wait, I think I found it. Yeah, I've delivered to you before. And then he like hooked me up with like some plates and stuff. But I'm like, oh, no, he knows that he's delivered here before.
Right. That moment when you like walk in a restaurant, they just know your order that first time. It's like, oh, God, I eat here way too much, don't I?
What it feels like, man.
What was Deuce's first job? I don't know this.
Yeah, I know. I feel like we gave him enough time to like reflect back on it.
Funny enough, my first job was in film at the local Blockbuster.
Oh yeah, of course.
I was checking out videotapes and feeling like a big shot.
Yeah, the Tarantino dude.
Yeah, no, that was like the greatest job ever because I was like 16, 17, and you could just rent as many movies as you wanted. So I literally just watched every single movie that came through that place. Like, it was a dream job.
So did you have to have like a subscription, like a membership with them to rent it, or was it like kind of like one of the employee?
Yeah, you just check it through the employee, but like when new movies would come in, like before they were technically supposed to be rented, like we'd have them just in the back. So we just take them home and they're like, as long as they're here, like day of release, no one cares. So
heck yeah.
Yeah, video games, movies, like we just watch all that stuff. And
dude, that was the dream job when I was 17, or well, you know, when I was wishing I was 17, but then Blockbuster shut down. So
you know, it was still like my favorite job I've ever had. Like I loved the people, I loved the atmosphere. I loved just people would come in and just want to talk movies all day. Be like, hey, I just watched this. It was really great. What other movies are like this? And I'd be like, well, you have an hour? Let's talk movies.
Did you watch the last Blockbuster on Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
I want to go to Oregon now.
An IV of nostalgia, dude.
Right?
What are your horror stories from working there, though? Like, any freakouts? Somebody like taking over shelves and being like, fuck this place, fuck my fees.
You know, the fees were definitely the moments that were the worst because people would come in with like $300 fees and just be like, what? Why do I have this fee? It's like, I don't know. Like,
that was my
I can't help you, man. I mean, depending on the people, we would literally just write off like hundreds of dollars in fees. Could be like, you're in here all the time. You're cool. It happens. Whatever.
Every single
your friends would come in, you
family.
just start checking out movies to them under the table. Like, yeah, it was great.
We'd go in and rent under my dad's name. Nope, it was a fee. So we'd open up one in my mom's name, overdue on that one. Then we'd open one up in my sister's name.
Yep.
Just went through the whole family. I think my great grandfather had an account.
Oh yeah, no, there was a dude that came in that had like 17 accounts because he would just add a number after each one of his names, like Joe Johnson the second, Joe Johnson the third, Joe Johnson the fourth. It was like pretty brilliant, dude.
Nice.
That's fun. I wish I worked there. One day. One day.
What was your first job, Chaz?
Oh, dude, I actually worked at Frightmares when I was 14.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah, I was like one of the actors in those haunted houses. It was fun. I love haunted houses, but I was like an understudy, so like I had to like fill in different roles each night, at different houses. But
That's awesome.
yeah, definitely
that's
fun.
cool.
But then after that, I stayed at Lagoon, and I worked in foods until 6 years ago almost.
Heck yeah.
Awesome.
I have a boring. What do you call it? High school
No, that's
job.
awesome. I just went to Lagoon for like the first time in like 8 years, like 2 weeks ago, man. I forgot how fun it is.
I'm glad you think it's fun, man. I don't think I could ever go there again without being like,
Did it just ruin the magic? Did it just totally ruin it for you?
the amount of shit that goes on behind like
Yeah.
everything, dude. It's ridiculous.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, but good times though. I love Frightmares. Like that's probably the one time I'll actually go. Is just for the
That's
haunted
cool.
houses there because they're fun. But
Awesome.
So,
Yeah.
so quick confession
uh-oh.
that everybody will always laugh at me at, but you guys knowing me so well will really appreciate. So I love horror. Horror is my life. Horror movies, horror memorabilia. I love horror. I cannot do haunted houses to the point that I can't go on the terror ride without freaking out. And
Wait,
people
what?
are like, the terror ride at Lagoon is like the tamest, like 4-year-olds can go on it. And I'm
Dude,
like,
I
no, I
get
have
you.
like a panic attack. Like I can't do it.
I can't do the jump scares, dude. I react with violence, and so I'm gonna get sued if I go into one of those things. Because like there was one dude that scared me on the terror ride. Like you remember how they would hide in the ride? Do you remember how like
Yeah, at
people
the
would
very
hide in
end.
there? And
Yeah.
dude. And then like they just come around the corner. I smacked the dude's hand like because he touched. I was just like bam, and I can't do that stuff. I'm right there with you, dude. There's no shame in that. It's just there's this like nasty energy to that, and I can't
Yeah.
do it either, dude.
It's awful.
It's all good.
Confession. I hate crawling, and whenever a haunted house has crawling in it, I freak the fuck out.
There's crawling? Like, wait, what?
Yeah, like
That's awful.
dude, you know what? Here's the thing too. It was at the Castle of Chaos in Salt Lake before they tore it down, like one of the original locations,
Yeah.
And we were in there, and they had like those walls that kind of like are filled with air, and you have to like squeeze through, like you're suffocating.
Oh yeah.
But they had that for your feet, and it was really weird because like you were like, trying to like walk, but you kept tripping over your feet because it was like so whatever. But I tripped, and I kid you not, I like looked up, and there was a little kid like face to face with me, like on the floor, and he like smiles and runs off.
Oh,
And
Lord.
then like nobody in my group saw the kid, and then the worker was like, "Dude, we don't allow kids to work here." Like it was, yeah. And I don't know, maybe he was lying, but like that's like one of those like experiences. But yeah, they have crawling, like the ring room, like with the Samara, whatever her name is, crawling out the well. Like
Nope.
if you do hands on, dude, like they'll grab your feet and like it's yeah. That's
Nope.
No, thank you.
Wouldn't be me.
Yeah.
Nope.
And I don't know, after working at the haunted house too, dude, like there's a lot of spooky shit in haunted houses. Like Layne said, there's like a lot of weird vibes that go on.
Yeah, like there's that one that the Ghost Adventures always do, and I got invited to go film that one time. I was like,
Wait, what?
Yeah, dude, the Asylum
49, yeah.
Yeah. Ghost Adventures, the crew is out there all the time. I got
Right.
a buddy that shoots it for him. They call him all the time, and yeah, that's just like there's actual like bad vibes to that place, and I'm not having any of it.
Dude, we actually shot there for a short film.
Did you
And
really?
We did. We stayed all night, and they even gave us like a ghost tour before, and like
Oh,
yeah, like I was on the phone and I kept hearing somebody run up behind me, and like I turn around and there's like nobody there, right? Like it was like one of those moments. I don't know, man. It was just like what in the and like they took us to this room, and they're like, if you stand here, like the human will act as the pendulum or whatever. And I was like, all right, whatever. Like we'll see how this goes. No joke, dude. You could see a handprint form in somebody's shirt. Like we have video of it.
Yeah, no bueno.
So yeah, that place is spooky as hell. Speaking of haunted houses, but okay, real quick then, I want to know this. So you guys know each other from film school? Is that what we're gathering here? All three of you guys. What was your first project working together?
Like all of us together?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I always remember it as like Deuce would pitch a project and the class would have to choose between what projects to pick, and they would always pick Deuce's and they would always pick mine. And so we could never ever work together I asked Channing one time, I was like, Channing, I don't want to do mine. I want to work with Deuce. And I caught a lot of shit for that. I caught a lot of shit from him and from other people, like say, hey, own your idea and work on your idea. And it's like, hey, but there's chemistry in this group over here, and I wanted to be a part of that. Just because, yeah, my idea was okay, but it was not as cool as theirs. I just clicked with their crew really well, and it was always their crew together, and then it was always the people that didn't click with their crew. And so mine always ended up this melting pot of people that didn't necessarily click very well. And theirs was this like, so I was always looking over the fence at these guys like, oh, look how freaking cool they're doing. So most of our projects probably happen. And I'm not talking down on anybody that was in my group. There was some awesome kids I got to work with, but I just remember there being some sour taste in my mouth because I couldn't work with these guys. And I wanted, there was some really cool ideas that they had. And I was forced to do my mediocre ideas because it was just the second best idea. But yeah, I always got to watch them from afar. But finally, after in the end stages of my time there, I got to work with these guys. They run an awesome crew. I'm just pleased to be able to ride the coattails of that group. They've always been good to me.
Oh, that's cute. So you're just over there. You're just over there looking, and they're over there like in slow motion, like.
Yeah, it was kind of like being on being on a table full of kids that didn't want to talk to each other, and then looking over and seeing this group of kids shooting spitwads at each other and like laughing and having a good time. And it's like, oh man, like I wonder, like I remember thinking, I don't know about Deuce and John. I remember thinking like, what can I do to be as cool as like how can I get onto their crew without telling the instructors, like how can I still go help them out? I remember doing some like non-credited work because I just wanted to hang out with you guys, and I didn't want my name on because I didn't want to get in trouble by the instructors, but I just remember hanging out with you guys and being a fun time, man. Good chemistry.
See,
yeah, that was a lot of fun.
I wish the university was like that. I mean, it was sort of, but like definitely not like that. I've noticed that Slick's more hands-on right from the get-go than like the university. So hearing stories like that you had to break up in different groups and make the films, like it's always fun to kind of witness and hear. But
and Layne's giving us way too much credit. We were never the cool kids.
No.
Yeah, cool kids is a strong word. It was like the outlaws. You were like the outsiders. It was like I saw you guys and I saw like you remember the movie Outsiders, and like I'm trying to you seemed like the outcast, and you guys, there was always this energy coming off you guys, and it was this struggle to make my crew feel like that. But every time my crew was completely different people, but you guys had this consistent. You had this consistent membership, and just because I remember saying to my wife, saying I got to just come up with shittier ideas so that my ideas aren't picked. I should have just been like the modern version of Humpty Dumpty, and a kid falls off the wall, shatters into 1,000 pieces, and like the whole class would have been, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, it's just like
right.
Community breakfast. That's what we were.
Yeah.
That's the community breakfast. The pancakes is what I remember. Yeah. Ah, so cool. We didn't even have a name, I don't think.
No, we got so lucky in that way that it was like somehow we just found those people that it was like, I wanted to write and direct. John wanted to do cinematography. Other people wanted to do sound. Other people wanted to grip and gaff, but there was no overlapping of like, we have 7 people that all want to be writer directors. We have 7 people that all want to be cinematographers that'll settle for doing other jobs. Like
totally.
Yeah. It was one of those like once in a lifetime perfect storm of just like the right people in the right place at the right time. And then Layne would get up and we'd be like, come on, buddy. And he'd be like, I can't.
They picked my idea. they picked my idea, and it was like, and again, I'm not knocking anybody who was on my team because I worked with some amazing people like Blade Zabavchik, oh my gosh, like now my whole Instagram, Rian Clausen, just all these really, really cool people that really kept my drive high. But it was exactly that, Deuce, is that every single one of us wanted to be everything. Including myself. I'll even throw myself under the bus there, where it's like I wanted to do everything. This person wanted to do everything, and it totally, it didn't clash. It never came to like blows or anything.
Yeah.
I made some really good friends, that way, because we were all really passionate. There was almost too much passion in that crew because it was like we all have our own idea and we all want to make that story ours. Whereas your crew all heard your ideas and was like, how can I implement my skills to that? And you can still see residue from that when I come out and hang out with you guys whenever we're doing a shoot, because I'll do like multiple things naturally. Like I won't, I'll jack of all trades, but master of none kind of thing, where it's like, I'll just fill in the gaps wherever things need to be done because I can see everybody's doing their job really well. So you still see a little bit of residue of that mentality for sure. So it's not a bad thing by any means, just different.
Yeah.
What was this pancake thing? Like, was it shot like a commercial?
Oh no, just their logo, their company logo.
Oh.
Yeah, I came up with a production company for our little group.
Go on.
Oh, that was it. No story to it. I felt like it felt more professional to have a production company title at the beginning of the movie.
It had a little sizzle sound effect that he added. That's
right.
That's
the sizzle.
That's the going on.
Yeah, there's a sizzling of bacon and then like a dinging of a bell, like your order was ready.
Oh my god. Okay. So it was just a logo of pancakes with all the sound effects, and that was it.
Yeah, I'll send you a video with something that has it on there, and you'll be like, "Oh, that's dumb."
Yeah,
we spent 15 minutes on the podcast talking about this. Wow.
I don't know. I think it's fun. I think like that's the thing, dude. Like, how do you figure out what like your logo will be? Before the reveal of the project. Like that's always fascinating to think, especially like depending on like what the name is of the production thing that you're going for. Yeah,
we all want that like Pixar lamp. We all want that like perfect introduction, right? But
yeah,
it's kind of hard.
What's your guys' favorite introduction, like professional one?
Oh,
do you have one? Like, what's one that you see and you're just like, it's gonna be sweet.
I'm on a James Bond kick, dude. It's got to be the MGM lion for me.
Oh yeah,
that's a classic. Yeah, dude.
I like what Bad Robot has done.
Yeah, Bad Robot's cool.
That's always a fun one.
I like the THQ because it always just
THX.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, THX. Yeah, exactly. THX because it just feels like your ears are about to explode.
Yeah,
you're like taken aback, like, oh my god.
What's super nostalgic, Deuce, is you'll go after like remember the classic Dimension films, like the
oh yeah,
that because it was like at the beginning of every horror movie, right? It was like Scream. It was, but then I come to find out that they're also a Disney property now, so it's like it's all that really Disney. Awkward. Yeah, Dimension Films is when I found that out, I'm like, wait, what?
That was one of my favorite things was that Sidney Prescott was a Disney princess.
Yeah. Genius.
Wasn't New Line Cinema involved with that stuff too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're all in cahoots now.
That's always fun. But I agree, John, that THX, that's nostalgic, man. Especially like because my dad would like used to have, not used to, he still does, but like being like 5, 6 or 7 or whatever, like he's setting up the surround sound or the equivalent to like what would be surround sound then. And always when that intro would hit, he would purposely turn up the whole volumes, like the whole apartment or the whole house would just like shake, and then he'd turn it back down.
It was the perfect test run. It was the perfect sound check.
Yeah, I mean, it really added a lot to the experience of being that young, being like, oh my God, we're watching a movie. Like, it's not just a movie at home. It's literally, we're watching a movie,
There's a famous rock band that starts their show out with the THX sound effect. I can't think of who it is. I've seen them. It might have been like Def Leppard or something, but they started out with the whole whole arena just goes up in the THX noise.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Like, how does that not amp you up, you know?
Yeah,
Right?
totally.
But okay, when did we work together then? Like because were you guys still in school when we all kind of met, or were you guys out of school and just doing your own stuff?
I think the first stuff we worked on was just post school. Trying to think of what the first thing we all worked together on was.
I think it was Lilith.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure it might have been Lilith, which was post school.
Was Chaz on Men with Flowers?
No.
I was brought on because I think Dario reached out to me and and he's like, do you want to help with this project? And he dropped Deuce's name. I'm like, hey, I actually know that name. Like, we've been friends on Facebook since high school. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll come on and help. And then that's when I met all you other beautiful people. So that's my introduction to you guys.
And the fun began.
Dude. That was a crazy trip. Sorry, just my brain was just like remembering all of what happened with like Lilith, just like how much shit we shot in like a matter of
days.
Lilith felt like 3 different projects, like at 3 different times. Because I remember I was only on like 1.5 of those shoots, and because it kept going, and so there's all this Lilith talk that it blurs my mind of when that was Flowers, Lilith, and then you know what I mean. There was just there was so much going on, and it was so fun. That was such a good time.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you guys, I learned so much just working with you guys, because I think I was last year of school. No, when was it? Was it 2017? 2018? I don't know.
I think that was 17. Wasn't
almost 4 years now.
Oh, dude. Maybe I was graduated. I think I was probably just graduated then. But either way, it was post school then for me too. But I learned so much from your guys' set and like your guys' work techniques that like I was like, oh my God, I'm happy that I didn't fall into this like, oh, I'm done with school, what's next? Because like you guys gave me the opportunity to be like, hey, welcome aboard, you know, and just the amount of fun that it was, you know, and like it feels like yesterday. That's why I'm like, well, when was it? Because like we just had a lot of fun, and we just kind of, I don't know, made it not feel like work, you know?
Oh, we had so much fun.
Yeah.
And
it was hell on earth, but it was fun.
Chaz, I'm in the same exact boat you were, just give me 1 year earlier. And it's like, because I worked side by side with him a little bit during school, but then after school, it was like hit the ground running.
Yeah.
And Deuce, John, and everybody that's involved with that, you guys should be really, really proud, because as technically an early outsider, coming in, what Chaz says is totally accurate. There's this really cool click to it. Click, I don't like using click because it seems like a bad word. You guys are so open to anybody who will help, but you're really into. Even if there was 50 people on set, you could spot your original crew because of how well you all meshed. You know what I mean? And I was just stoked to kind of, like I said, ride the coattails.
Yeah. Well, then even when Deuce left, I was like, oh shit, Deuce is gone. Is our community going to be still together? And then Jonathan reached out and he's like, hey, we're going to shoot this thing because we have to shoot something. And even that meshed very well, you know, like it was fun and people were still having the time of their life. It's like that whole imprint just kind of like went on to other projects, which I think is really fucking cool.
I was worried when Deuce left that it would feel like that, like that it would feel like, you know, the band's breaking up, but it almost felt like Rockstar East and West. It was like he was just forming another campus. Like, you know what I mean? Like it just felt like the crew was just, you know, spreading out a little bit. I never thought of it as like, oh, Deuce leaving, it's the end of all things, right? Like Frodo leaving Middle Earth, but it was like, they were just setting up Rockstar West, you know?
If anything, it was just like, wow, who needs Deuce?
when John was like sharing photos and stories of you guys doing that, I was so jealous. I was just like, I can come back up and just sit in the corner and watch. Like, I want to come have fun.
That was a lot of fun, man. And it was like snowing that day too. Layne and I were outside setting up lights. and trying to make
dude.
Snow didn't get into the lights. And then there's this fucking tree in the backyard. Was this at your place, John?
Yeah, it was at my place. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you have that tree in the backyard
That
where it
tree
was
is awful.
dark at night, and I totally missed a branch that was just like a stump, and totally like gave me a dead arm for the rest of the night, and like I had a gnarly bruise the next morning. But yeah, that was fun. I missed that, man.
That was
like
a
Layne
great
almost passed out.
it felt like the end of like what's crazy is I counted, we were there for 16 hours. That was the longest set that I've ever had in my life. And what's crazy is that this was right before the world ended.
Yep.
And I don't know if John knows, I might have mentioned this on my episode with you, Chaz, is that directly after that shoot, I got something really, really bad. I got really, really sick. I lost taste. I lost smell. And this was right before the world ended. And I found out later from like CDC was researching, dude, that Corona had been here since December, had been earlier, just undetectable. And I went to the doctor. They tested me and they said, we do not know what you have. You have a respiratory virus. We do not have a name for it. We don't know what it is. And that was the day after that shoot, dude. I crashed. And I just thought it was I thought it was just set exhaustion. You know what I mean? But I went in and they said, you have something. And so I've always wondered, man, I've always wondered if that was like right off, because I think I had just returned from Southern California. And so I always wondered if I had totally got something right then and there. And I hope I didn't pass it around to anybody.
I wasn't sick that I know of.
Good.
Jonathan, were you?
Me neither.
That's the sickest
I
I've
think
been
anyone got
since,
sick.
you know. Good.
Well, now I'm glad I wasn't at that shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
We should have changed the name to Patient Zero.
But
Right.
I think that's the last set that I was on too. Officially, you know, I've had people get me back on, but I don't know, man. I want to get back on set, but like that was like I'm glad when before the world shut down, I was able to get on like one last fun set in, you know.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, it wasn't like fuck those people, you know, like I'm never working with them again.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That was kind of fun. And John, is that being submitted stuff, or is that just out and about?
It's just out and about right now. It's just something to do because I was so swamped with just like other work
Yeah.
that wasn't like creatively fulfilling. And so I was like, shit, I should just like quickly write some kind of concept and get some people together and shoot something, because I just felt creatively like I needed to scratch an itch kind of a thing. And so that's
Thank
how it
God
came
you
about.
did. Because
I thought about
wouldn't have
submitting
had
it to a few things, but I did it to a couple things, but then I was like, fuck it, I'll just like release it. It's not, that big of a deal.
Yeah. I always want to call the clan the Atmos group, because working with you, like we filled your whole house with fog, and like we're just outside trying to adjust stuff and make it look as moody and sexy as possible, you know? And then the same thing with like Deuce's projects. Because even after Lilith, I think there was like a few short projects we worked on here and there, but like same thing. We're out inside the house setting up these huge lights, and just the whole house was fogged up, and walk through it felt like a haunted house, because you're like, who's that like 5 feet in front of me, you know?
I'm over
I got a
here
little haze happy, dude.
Yeah. I'm over here blaming coronavirus, and I just inhaled all this fog, dude. It was probably a sinus infection from inhaling all this fog.
Here's the thing though, dude. All these going outside and setting up the lights, like I don't even know what the proper term would be, like what like that job position would be. That's how much I don't know what the job titles are. Just I'm like, oh, well, we did lighting. Well, that was fun. But regardless, it's always been small spaces, and there's always fucking spiders. Like every single time there's spiders. So now I know that if I'm helping out with like lights in any way whatsoever, I'm wearing jeans and high socks in case I need to go and like hide in trees or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
I worked a set once, and we were shooting in an old. This would have been right during Slick, and we were shooting in an old. It was a condemned meth house. And I was like, this is a great idea for a closed set. You know, it was like it was a condemned meth house, and this crew was like, yeah, let's go ahead and go shoot it. And so They put up a generator, no electricity running to the house. You know where it was is Deuce. Remember when we parted ways at that Apollo Burger, right? Yeah. Where we met up and you'd had those VHS tapes for me. There's a house back behind that Apollo Burger, and that's where we were shooting, right there. No power. There was still like bottles. There was still looked like somebody might have been living in it.
Oh man.
And it's like, and they're like, hey Layne, we want you on generator. Generators over under the freaking deck of this house, like condemned metal. So like I look under there, they've shoved this generator into like a bunch of tumbleweeds that have gathered up under there. I'm like, 1, fire hazard. 2, like it's gonna choke. Like 15 minutes into running, that thing choked out, and everybody's like, what's going on? Like, what's going on? So I pulled that freaking generator. I was like, gotta let it breathe. It's got freaking tumbleweeds in the intake. So I start that up. That was a.
Oh boy.
Deuce, thanks for never shooting in old meth houses, man. Appreciate it.
At least not putting the generator in a fucking hard place to get to.
Yeah. Hey, let's send the 6'4" guy under the deck. Yeah. Spiders.
Oh man.
Speaking of generators, I'm surprised we didn't get the cops called on us on Lilith when we had the generator in the park, and it was like right next to all these houses. And I was expecting for cops to come over. Like I was just like, who's gonna call? Like who's gonna be the first one to call about a noise complaint? But
there's so many like situations and sets that we've done that I'm like, I am shocked that the cops have never shown up. I'm shocked no one's ever like screamed at us or been like, what the hell are you doing? Like, my neighbors got so used to just seeing like grips of people and like people and blood and bodies and body parts and screaming. And they're like, I got to that point, I'm like, something horrible is going to happen. And my neighbors are just like, oh, he's just making another movie. It's fine.
Yeah,
like, whatever.
That's awesome.
Were your neighbors ever in your movies?
No, not officially that they knew of. They happened to be on their porch or their driveway. They might have been in there, but
did we just get a confession? Did we just get a rear window level confession?
Keep showing right here. Royalties now.
That's all community breakfast stuff. So.
That's right. It was a school project. It doesn't count.
Yeah, when in doubt, always just claim to be a student.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the thing too. I love the method of guerrilla filmmaking when they're like, if you want to shoot in a store, just shoot in a store, and if you get kicked out, make sure you have footage. Like that's literally all you gotta do.
I'm gonna go over here and distract the security guard. You guys just start shooting until they notice.
Is it ethical? Probably not. But is it fun? Yeah. What's your guys' sketchiest moment on a set then? I don't think I've had one yet that I know of. That I remember.
Sketchiest moment on a set.
I have one.
Layne guy shows up.
Yeah. Anytime I call Layne is a really sketchy moment on set. I was on a commercial and we were on like a 2-story house, and then the 2nd story had like a balcony. And I was gripping on this, and like we had built this rig to basically throw out like a 800-watt HMI Joker off the side of like a speed rail to get it to blast into this bedroom window on like the 2nd floor. And this deck looked like it was going to fucking fall. Like it did not look safe. And then the other thing is like the way we had to rig it is like we had to have someone there like just fucking gripping the hell out of this thing to make sure it didn't like fall. And so that was a little sketchy because I was like, well, this thing goes south, that light goes down, shatters completely, and like just a lot of things. Luckily, we were able to get the shot, and it wasn't like. And I think we came up with like a better solution by like the 2nd or 3rd take or something. But that was pretty sketchy. And then anytime I work with like a 12 by, like any 12 by 12s, where it's like you got to like stake that in the ground and you got to like stand up on the combo stand to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. Like that always just feels sketchy.
High, man.
Yeah, but
just belly flop if you fall.
I mean,
do a flip maybe.
It's a sale.
I remember
That one, I'm just hanging on.
well, I remember in high school, we would the sense of danger wasn't real in a way, where it would be like, well, we're gonna shoot on this roof, on the roof of the house, and we're gonna do this cool stunt, and you just have to find a friend that's cool at doing cool stunts, kind of Jackass style, and if it works, and whatever. But I remember for like one project that we had to do, because I was part of the TV broadcasting thing where they would do it every Tuesday. But we're trying to do a short that was kind of James Bond style, right? Where it was like action packed and kind of like thrilling and stuff. And the idea was for us to stand in the middle of a road of oncoming traffic and a car speeding right toward you. And we didn't go through with it. But at the time it was like very much, yeah, dude, I'll do it, like let's do it for the shot, But now it's like, yeah, fuck that. But I don't know.
Crazy.
Yeah, man.
We usually go with the safety first mentality on set. So like,
yeah,
I can't think of a lot of times that things got sketchy for us.
Yeah. Maybe I'm just asking out of experience.
Maybe sketchy in the sense of like blood might get on the camera.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't there a story with like the city park, and you got like fake blood on the city park or something like that, and you guys left it there, and so there's like people gathering around it later.
That wasn't sketchy though.
That wasn't sketchy at the moment though. It was later when people thought there was a murder, like a satanic ritual happening. But at the time, it was fine.
Fair enough. Dude, mine came with the blockheads. If you ever have the chance to YouTube Kyler Vick, the guy's a monster. I grew up, that's why I wanted to pick up a camera, was Knoxville and the crew, and the blockhead set was always it takes the term guerrilla filmmaking and it turns it on its head. It was actually reckless. It was very irresponsible. There was injuries that happened on set that we should have had medics. We should have. It was so guerrilla. And they'd been filming like this since they were like 14 years old. And so when I came into it, they had already gotten their stuff seen. They were starting to, they had a YouTube channel and everything. And then by the time I left, they were getting it onto MTV. So I was in a really interesting phase with them because they were trying to go big, but there was still this it was so raw. And I remember telling you the story, Chaz, of the yoga ball on the set.
Yeah.
That footage went all the way to MTV, and I was flipping through the channels one day and saw that that was spooky stuff. And then I still have the scar from it, is when they tased me while I was filming them. So that was super sketchy because like my whole camera shorted out. They just like they were tasing each other and they turned it on me, and I was like, no warning whatsoever. And it's like, dude, I grew up with Jackass. Like I thought it was the funniest thing in the world, but there was some things we did that were like, yeah, borderline. We should not have done that. And but yeah, that's good memories though. Holy cow.
I feel like Jackass has pretty good insurance,
Oh man, and it's changed so much since they started the show. When they started the show, it was Jeff Tremaine, a camera, and Knoxville Steve-O, and just jump in the LA River. But now if you look at the behind the scenes of new stuff, it's pretty. They're careful with it, They've got to be. They're coming up on 50 years old, so
and they have a new movie coming out.
Excited for the new one, yeah, it's gonna be great.
What are you guys working on now since COVID hit? Like, have you guys been working on projects like behind the scenes stuff, or no?
Yes,
crickets. Where's the cricket sound effect?
Oh all boy, right. What? I'll go first, I guess. Yeah, I have. COVID's been kind of a blessing and a curse because it's one of those I have not been able to step on set in almost 2 years, and it has been super hard to like wrap my head around that. But in the process of that, I've written 2 feature scripts that are ready to go. I have been able to start putting together a concept for funding for a feature. I've been doing a lot of pre-pro on some really cool stuff that's hopefully coming down the pipeline. I've been just connecting, trying to network with people, like trying to get things rolling out here. But more than anything, it's just made me appreciate the times that I am on set and being able to create things. And like so many people I was hearing were so depressed during lockdown. So like, I'm stuck in my house. I'm stuck doing absolutely nothing. And I'm like, I'm getting to escape into these worlds that I'm creating in my own head, which is so much fun to me still. And it's just kind of given me this new sense of, we really don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. So we got to go twice as hard in the paint to make things happen while we can. So I'm just pushing 10 times harder than I've ever pushed before to make the next steps and make things happen. Because if I don't go out of this world swinging and trying to get as much of my creative voice out there, then I'm doing it wrong. So, oh, and Lilith is almost done. 4 years later, it is inches away from finally being complete.
It's like percentage wise, how much would that be?
It's literally at this point, we're probably at like 95% done.
Oh, dude, you're being such a cock tease right now.
There's some very minor things that have to get finished. And then I will make this declaration now. By Halloween of this year, it will be out.
Yes!
Oh, yeah.
I miss sharing stuff. Yes. What about you, John? I know you've been doing photography. It looks like from the stuff. And stuff. The social media feeds.
Yeah. So, I mean, after the initial lockdown, like I wasn't doing anything for the first like little while, like everyone else. And then because I just freelance, I had to get some jobs, and luckily some jobs came through. But as far as creative stuff, I've shot 2 short films for people that I have never worked with before. So that was fun. Shot a music video for a song that Nick Allred wrote and stuff, and that was fun. And then I picked up a little Fuji X100V and just bought it because I was like, I kind of want just like a little fixed lens, point and shoot, super tiny, compact thing. Because my whole thing was like, man, like everything I work on, I feel like requires so much prep, so much manpower, and so much like just a bunch of things to make things happen. And so I wanted something that I could do the same thing, but the opposite, if that makes sense. Like something super easy to use, something like super like just there's no lighting involved. There's no like prepping anything. It's literally just like street photography, just going out, walking around, just snapping shots and, just kind of having a good time with that. It's been really nice. It's been a good contrast from like all the other stuff I usually do. So yeah, it's been cool.
When I imagine too with like photography, that kind of goes hand in hand with cinematography in a way, like similar principles and similar approaches, but like 2 different ballparks really, but you could cherry pick and stuff, I imagine. Maybe.
Yeah, it's interesting because like you have to think about it kind of differently.
Yeah.
It's like it's the same but way not the same. Because with photography, it really does feel like you're creating like a real painting piece. So the entire story of whatever you're trying to convey has to exist within that one frame. And with video, it's just like it's different. Like you have so much more wiggle room to like craft like the same story, or at least like elements of it, right? So photography has been really fun because it's making me more conscious of composition, framing, and really just using, and the photography that I'm doing specifically really helps me kind of just see what light is there, you know what I mean, and just find what the best angle is for that, and just having a good time. It's very therapeutic.
That's good. Because I know, like, I haven't filmed anything like filmed, right? Like I did like a Dune short as a joke. But I do like vlogs or anything like in quarantine. But even then, switching that to like video stuff to photography stuff, I always forget that the settings are completely different. Like the ISO on the photos might be a little bit higher, and the shutter or the shutter is like at like, I don't know, 300 frames, or 300 whatever, but speed. But for photo stuff, and then video, it's just strictly like 50. Everything else is just lighting. But no, I think it's cool. I think it's cool that you've kind of venturing out and still learning stuff during quarantine.
Yeah, dude. Always got to keep learning, man.
Heck yeah, dude. And Layne, what about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, right before, probably about 2018, 2019, Blockheads went on to MTV. They went on to do some really big stuff there. I wasn't able to follow with that. And then I kind of felt like I'm not putting this on Doose. I felt like the Avengers kind of broke up with our group, and it's just waiting for Thanos to come back and that one big project that we're all gonna get back together on. If anybody follows me on social media, they'll know I've kind of along with everybody, I've had a shite year, and there's been some crazy life changes. So I did like the Hawkeye of the Avengers, and I kind of went off and I kind of walked away from video camera work. Like I said, I went into Yellowstone, went and shot with the animals, and then kind of had a revelation the beginning of this year that like I'm going to sell a little bit of my video gear to fund a workstation. I'm going to get back into my music roots. I had like a little home recording studio. I was recording some music, and then I thought, there's nothing saying I can't bring that back into the film world. The main thing I listen to is movie scores. So I've been learning movie scores. I've been kind of studying the works of my favorites, the John Williams, the James Newton Howards, and the Silvestris. Those legendary film scores that are just so impactful to my youth, and I kind of escaped into that. I kind of went rogue and went back to the keys, and it felt really right to walk away from camera, because I sat there and I thought, what am I doing? I got John, dude. Like he's so far above my level in camera work that it's like, yeah, I'll be his Robin to his Batman any day, but why have two Batmans, right? So it's like, yeah, I just kind of wanted to pull back a little bit, go shoot on my own, just get, like you said, John nailed it with just, it feels like a painting, right? You feel like it feels so much more artistic, photography does, over cinematography. I think cinematography, you get lost in the production of the whole thing. You get so preoccupied with the production design, the actors, there's so much buzz. But if you get into, two moose standing in front of the Tetons, it's you and them. And it's like, you're responsible for capturing that. There's not a crew to do it for you. It was a healthy mental exercise that I needed. And I'm able to now translate some of the, some of the greatest songs have been written out of severe loss. I've lost about 5-6 people that are very, very close to me within the past 7 months. That's averages out to like one a month. I haven't been able to process any of them because it was like I just stopped answering the phone. John can attest to that. I kind of disappeared for a while, and so but coming back to the concept of the podcast, I'm waiting for our Thanos. I'm waiting for that one project that the bat signal goes up in the air, and it's like, hey, we all need to. I'm crossing universes here, but that's okay. But you know what I mean, though, that we all need to. The world needs Deuce's crew in the way that it was, and so I'm just looking forward to that. It sounds lame, it sounds dumb, but there's not really that many crews here left that I would like to shoot with besides these guys, and so if that means shooting less because projects are coming around whenever they come around, then I'll do it. Nothing scratches that itch like a community breakfast pancake breakfast.
No, I feel that. I know that you were kind of vocal about some of your losses, which I'm sorry on Facebook when this happened. And
yeah,
when you do post on there, and I'm like, oh, he's back. And then it makes me feel like I can ask because I don't ever check in, you know. And I'm like, I need to check in.
Hey, you got my phone number. Just yeah. Come at me that way. The social media thing. I got to the point where there's people. I tried to leave Facebook, and there's a bunch of people that message me saying that's the only. I have a bunch of family back east that's the only way they can keep up with things. And so there was like deaths that were happening that they weren't knowing about because it's like, oh, so I was getting, in trouble because I wasn't posting about it. So it's like, there's almost this responsibility that I've forced myself into with this social media presence that I've taken of trying to upkeep spirits. But gosh, when you can't do that yourself, man, you gotta work on you.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the biggest takeaway. Is this whole time has just been about individual experiences, you know?
Yeah.
Like we're so busy focusing on like the external stuff that we've never had time to really do internal work. Does that make sense?
Right. And it forced us to, because
it forced us to, yeah. And the rise of like, I mean, people are definitely depressed, you know, there's a lot of mental health stuff. I mean, like for sure, because it forces us out of our comfort zones, you know, our elements.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you know, we were offered that glimpse of hope with the vaccines, and now it's just kind of like, dwindling.
You know what's awesome about it though? Is that it's like, let it get as awful as it can, right? Let it go. Let it just keep getting miserable. How much sweeter is that going to be when we do find Thanos? When that project comes together, it's going to feel like $1 million being back together with you guys. It's going to feel right. It's going to feel meant to be, right? That project is going to come along, whether, you know, we're doing our own little things here and there. We all have to have our one-off movies. But then we all get back together for Ultron and Thanos, right? I'm out of. I guess I better go do the Marvel thing. I guess I better go do. It's stuck in my head. It's the best analogy I can think of, dude. I feel like you guys are superheroes. Every single one of you guys is superheroes to me. You know, your work is awesome, and getting together, you know, working with you guys feels like being a part of something that big, man. It feels like we're saving the world, or at least South Salt Lake.
I want to be Ant-Man.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. That works. Hey, you already got the spiders, you know.
Oh shit, dude.
You got the spiders on your team.
Spidey. But yeah, no, I think it's cool, man. I think it's really cool how we're all trying to do our own stuff with this and handling it differently. And like, it's cool. John expanded his photography into photography, you know, and trying to learn different aspects and elements. It's cool that you're getting back to your roots. It's cool that Doose is working on writing all these hopes, and I relate mostly to Doose on this, where it's just like, yeah, we are, you know, as writers, we just kind of write and then see where it goes. But then the stuff, I don't know. But yeah.
Doose is over here like Big Lebowski. Am I the only son of a bitch still working on movies?
Like, I wonder how many times, because like often I'll message him. I'll be like, dude, look, I'm watching this movie right now. You know, like, have you seen this? Have you seen this? Have you seen this? And I'm like wondering how much in the back of his head is he like, God, Chaz, you have all this time to fucking work and write stuff. Like, you're just sitting on your couch watching movies.
Yeah, totally.
But
the worst part, I feel like I never watch any movies anymore because I'm always just working.
Good.
It's awful.
You've done your time, man. You've done your time.
Dude, you're going to one tonight, though, so that'll be a fun getaway.
I am. I'm really excited.
What are you going to see tonight?
Suicide Squad at the IMAX.
Oh, cool. Is that out?
Yeah, it comes out tonight.
That's probably more appropriate for our group, huh? I should probably start using Suicide Squad analogies instead of Avengers.
That feels a little more appropriate.
Yeah. I feel like we're all just going to get bailed out of jail eventually. Yeah, we need these kids to go make a movie.
John is our polka dot man.
Yeah.
Well, I love it. John, do you have to get going soon? Yeah.
Yes, I do. But feel free to keep the conversation going if you're, you know, I can just slowly, quietly leave.
Paper. he just watch. He just does this. He just slowly like leaves camera.
Yeah. But by the end, people are gonna be like, "Wow, I swear there was like three other people on there, but I guess
Yeah.
there was only
Yeah.
two other people.
Chaz is just
Don't
talking to himself, doing voices.
Yeah.
Do I sound like John? I don't think I could ever sound like John, dude. John,
Yeah,
that'd be
it's
a
kind
hard
of like this like mellow, laid back, like, but still has this weird intensity to it.
This weird intensity.
That was the best description I think I could ever even think of.
He nailed
Not
it.
even,
He
I couldn't
nailed
even
it.
think of it. I don't
Yeah.
even think it's accurate, but I just love the description. I'm like, yeah, that's right. It's
Yeah.
mellow, but intense.
Yeah, it's totally it's half street smarts, half book smarts. It's like it's right there in the middle. Like it's right there.
John, you should take up reading like self-help books where you're like, now breathe. Feel the release.
You're not waking up at 5 a.m. every morning. You're not doing it right.
Self-help, it just turns into insults. Like, get off your ass.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been speaking of insults, I've been rewatching. I haven't been rewatching. I've been watching my first go through The Sopranos. I don't know if you guys have seen it at all. John hasn't. Layne, have you?
I never did that one. I'm sorry. I apologize.
never did it.
I feel like there's an entire fandom out there I should apologize to.
Yeah, well, it's my first go through, so I mean, I'm like 27 years late or whatever it is.
Cool.
I don't know, but there's a character on there who just insults characters nonstop, and his lines make me like want to screenshot and just be like, I need to post this like a daily insult on Facebook because they're so
He's a living meme.
well written. Yeah,
That's awesome. That's awesome.
but all right, well, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go for the night. We'll wrap this up.
Cool.
It was nice.
Before we go,
Everybody.
Chaz,
What's oh no.
I know I can speak for these guys, but I'm also going to speak on behalf of every other guest that has done your podcast and just say a big thank you from all of us for giving us this platform and this opportunity. Like, we do all this work and we put in all this time, and being artists, we never really believe in ourselves, but to have somebody like you that gives us that chance to like really just deep dive into what we love and express it to other people and hear other people's stories, like, it means a lot. It means a lot to all of us. So thank you.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
I expressed to you last time that the film scene, and my main reason why I haven't been doing it as much is it kind of feels like a cutthroat business here in the Valley. Nobody's scratching backs, and if you know me, you've worked with me on set where I'm not happy unless everybody else is. I'm trying to make sure everybody else is doing good. You're doing that on a much bigger scale. You're taking these artists and you're doing something for them that they're not getting done by other people. Like there's nobody scratching backs out there, and you're scratching backs. You're getting stories told. You're Deuce nailed it with the platform you've created. It's unlike any other. I haven't seen anything like it in this valley. All 50. It feels quite frankly really cool to be a part of the 50th. You've assembled 50 really cool people minus me. Take me out of the ball
me
game.
too.
But yeah. But
Give
for legal
yourself some
purposes.
credit.
But
Yeah,
no,
well-
you should be really stoked about it because you're scratching a lot of it. I hope you're feeling some sort of what do they call you? Not reimbursement, but gratification, satisfaction of doing it because
Satisfaction.
yeah. If not, if you haven't, you've got a big paycheck coming your way, and I hope karma pays you back with tenfold. You're doing a good job.
You guys are
Yeah, man. Just
too.
call me and I'll be there, dude.
You guys are too kind. So, what were we gonna say? Were you talking, John?
Oh, I was just gonna say except right now, but you can call me any other time.
He's got to go now, but
Yeah.
any
Is
other
it-
time.
Is that your
Well,
way?
yeah,
Of,
no.
Standards.
is that your way of saying I'm out of here, bitches?
No, because it sounds like you're about to end it anyway. So,
Well, what if I just keep it going on purpose
Keep it
now?
going.
To kind of see how far we can push it with John.
Yeah, see how long we can keep him here.
And click.
And he's out.
Nice.
No. Thank you guys for number one being on the 50th. it's hard because like I'm not releasing this as much as I'd like to, but it's also because I've realized not a lot of people have been doing a lot of stuff lately, you know, and like everybody's in their own world. And I agree with Layne a lot of the time too, where it does not feel like it's a scratch your back kind of scenario, you know, like in the community. And I'm always left with this thing of like, well, I feel like it's more about quality and the quality of people you work with than the quantity of projects you work on. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so I have to keep reminding myself of that. And I'm glad that you kind of touched on that because like seeing all these people working on all their stuff, which is great and everything, but like, it's also like, am I not part of that community anymore? You know, like, because I'm not putting myself out there, but I guess we'll always be part of that community. You know, it's just a matter of picking up the camera and being like, I could do it, you know?
And Corona has done it to everybody. I've talked to people that were in business 40 years and they felt like after Corona happened, if you weren't working after 2 weeks into coronavirus, you were written off. I know people that were working on Yellowstone that the minute it moved up to Hamilton, minute it moved up to Montana, they stopped getting phone calls because it was like, you know, it shut everything down, and it really threw a stick in people's. And like I said, I'm a 5-year guy. These guys are 4 decades in the business, and there's people not getting phone calls anymore. And it's really it's a shame because like, you know, and that's where you've created a really cool platform for those people to come on. And you know, I feel like your program is kind of like a pitch in some ways. Like, hey, you know, if you need this done, then come and find this person. You know what I mean? You're creating a hour-long commercial for folks, and it just did a lot of damage. And you're out there cleaning up the trenches, and you should be applauded for it for sure. I should have an applaud setting on my keyboard.
The real question is, why don't I have sound effects yet embedded in my computer?
Then you just become a morning show. We don't need that.
Good morning, everybody. No, I'm not a morning show. Dude, those solo podcasts too, by the way, those bonus episodes are fucking hard. And like, that's not going to happen every day. So I don't know how people do it. It's awkward. We'll just say that. But, no. So Layne, thank you for bringing up making 50.
Applause?
That is
that good? Yeah,
dude. You found it.
Yeah, man. I got all kinds of bells and whistles over here.
He's just up there like the band for Jimmy Kimmel, you know, just the.
Oh, dude, you know it. These guys don't got anything on me. Yeah.
But Layne, thank you for bringing up, you know, making 50 special. Doose, thank you for following up with that. I mean, every time, you know, I post something, you message me saying it's great, and I'm like, oh, thanks. You don't have to listen to it, but thanks. And then
I'm a big fan.
Jonathan, it's just nice to see you, dude.
Nice to see you, dude.
And John, you still owe me $15.
Yeah, John, when are you going to come over and like make my vlogs look pretty?
Whenever you want me, dude. I'm here. I'm waiting.
His day rate's kind of astronomical, but you know, if you're willing to pay it.
Oh, I imagine, dude. I know. Pay is fun. That's the thing too, is I've realized so often in our industry we kind of work for free a lot of times, you know, and that's not an issue. Like if you're with a group of people, like with your group, you know, like it's like, hell yeah, we're doing something as a community. Like it's a unified mindset. Whereas a lot of people will try to get you to work for free or for really cheap. And it's just like one of those like self-worth questions, you know, where you're like, I love you, but like also, how much am I worth?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't know. I haven't reached that level yet. I don't honestly know how to approach that stuff. But
I was talking to a dentist, and they were saying that the dental field has the highest rate of suicides than any profession. And I was like, wait. What? Like, you know, yeah. Okay. So they blew my mind. Right. So I started asking her, like, so why is that? And it's like, she started talking about how, you know, oh, the value of our work is undermined and stuff like that. And I'm like, how much does the average like dentist make? You know what I mean? It was like 6 figures, you know, and I'm just like, gosh, sounds a lot like being on a film set. Just carving. So what do you do for work? And I'm like, oh, I'm not even going to talk about it. Actually, I'm too depressed.
Dude, I actually asked the dentist. I always feel bad. This is like a total tangent, but I always feel bad because like my gums sometimes bleed, you know?
Mhm.
And I know it's like people are like, well, you should probably floss more. I'm like, I do. I brush them every day, but you know, it's just one of those things. But I mean, I don't dig deep floss like they fucking like go. They're like, where is your bone? Like we're gonna go like, you know, and rub right against your bone. But I asked the lady because like, I'm like, this is so gross. Like I kind of feel bad, but at the same time, it's a profession they chose. So like, why should I feel bad for a profession they chose? You know? But I'm like, so like, how gross does it look? She's like, well, honestly, I just wear like these like magnifying glasses or whatever, and I just focus on one spot. I don't even see like the whole area. And I'm like,
She's like, have you seen Saw? It looks something like that.
yeah. So dentist work is one thing. Maybe we're in the wrong field, you guys.
Yeah. Let's all just start a dental clinic at Asylum 49.
Shit, dude. That'd be a nightmare. But all right. Where can people find you guys? Again, Deuce, you're episode 15. Go listen to it. John, you're episode 17. Go listen to that. And Layne, you're episode 30. 3-0. What's up? Yeah, where can people find your guys' works and stuff?
In the garbage can behind the Walmart on 15. You'll find me. You'll find me on Instagram at Layne Finn, LAYNE_FIN. That's where you're going to see most of my creative work, and then on Facebook with my more philosophical ramblings.
And they're always appreciated.
Thanks. Right back at you.
John?
You can find me at on Instagram at JSNCine. And then that's all I'll give you. or if you happen to find my number, I guess you can call me.
For a good time, call
801.
I'm gonna write that in the next gas station. Do you want a pretty looking photo? Here's this number.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh
and
boy. Instagram DOOSE. I don't tweet. I don't do most of those things, but YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Big on the TikToks.
Are you on the TikToks?
I love the TikTok.
Right now, where's my phone?
Wait, Layne, are you on TikTok too?
Dude, I started one, but it's I'm an idiot. I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. But I'm following Deuce right now, ASAP.
They're fun, dude. Ask Deuce like every time before I go to bed, or if I'm like on the toilet, I'll just go on TikTok and I'll just send Deuce a bunch of videos that I think are hilarious, and they're probably stupid the next day.
Dude, we were all dogging TikTok like a year ago, right? Like TikTok was the stupidest app, and it's like, no, that's for girls in their hydro flasks, right? Like it was for nobody but them, and now it's like it's the app. It's the damnedest thing.
No, I've met some incredible actors through TikTok. I've made some real friends through TikTok. It's crazy.
Well, and here's the thing too. A lot of the vloggers I follow on YouTube are talking about how YouTube's changing its form now, because they're introducing the shorts, right? Which is what TikTok and Instagram are, and Snapchat, right? They have like the stories and the shorts or whatever. Yeah. YouTube's trying to follow that. And a lot of these vloggers are like, it seems like people don't like high produced content anymore, and they like the rawness that TikTok and Instagram have. So like if you're shooting slow motion coffee, they prefer it be from your actual phone instead of like, shooting at 120 frames on your camera with like a lot of sexy lighting and B-roll or whatever. They're like, it seems like the algorithm is now moving toward the faster paced stuff that's more raw.
Oh, dude, it's SpongeBob level ADHD. I was sitting in a wing nuts, and I was looking up at the TV, and there was a Chive TV, like the Chive, the website. All it is actual network TV of just viral videos, and it just scrolls for you, like 15 seconds of a video, and I'm just like at a wing nuts. I'm sitting here eating wings, and it felt like I was mentally scrolling through TikTok, and I'm like, this is television now. That's how big it is that it's actually it's rolling over on itself, and it's going to start influencing network television, how to behave.
That's wild.
We're gonna have to go back to like 5-second films. You remember 5-second films back in high school? We're gonna have to start doing that, you guys. We're gonna have to start just short, freaking sweet. I don't know what to do.
Well, all these TikTokers didn't have Vine, so if you had Vine, you already know how to do it.
That's right. That's right.
Bada bing, bada boom. Bam. Anyways, yes, thank you guys for coming on. We'll log off so John can go because he's been patient.
You guys can keep going. It's okay. It's okay.
Well, now we can't keep going after we do our sign off. We can't keep going after that. That's awful.
All right. I'll let you finish. Go
I'm
ahead.
waiting for your sign off so I can. I got your applause ready.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna be your Paul Schaefer to your David Letterman.
It's like me being like, okay, guys, we're going to stop recording now. No, I'm just kidding. Follow the podcasts everywhere, I guess. Follow everybody. Show notes will be in everything. And yeah, you guys, it was nice catching up. I miss you guys. And like Layne said, when that big project comes, even if I'm in the middle of taking a poop, if I'm in the middle of having adult fun time, whatever it be, I'm stopping. And I'm
adult fun time. Thanos is coming, dude, and he's got the Infinity Gauntlet. We got to assemble.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's like, I got to assemble, and like you stop whatever you're doing. And you go to the film set, and then we're going to be there. So, anyways, episode 50. Congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations, Chaz.
No applause to everybody.
Dude.
That you guys that wouldn't be there. So thank you for that.
Is it loud enough?
It is. Yeah.
Does it sound like they're like social distancing? Are they way far away?
Awesome.
But you got to do like the sudden stop. It's got to be like.
I love it. All right, guys. We will stay in touch and
let's do a physical roundtable soon. Let's get a dolly camera going around us like the Hollywood, like the roundtables. Just get a dolly to circle us and just get into really intense conversations.
Does John have equipment for that?
Yeah, he's got to be sitting at the table, so you better find somebody to rob in your Batman, dude.
I know. I'll work on it. All right, let's end this. Thank you guys, and we will see you on the next episode.